There's a book authored by Ian Leslie titled Curious. And the premise of the book is how vital it is we maintain our curiosity as we learn and develop. And usually, when you hear those terms, learning and development, it's usually applied to kids. And as we grow older, as adults, and we progress through life, we kind of lose that development. It's kind of something that's usually applied to adolescence, and then we don't really recognize it, especially for ourselves. And the importance of the book and the message in it is being curious about yourself. It's just something we lose along the way. You kind of get, or you can get, rigid in how you see yourself and how you feel about yourself, and you get locked in to these things, and you don't see the ignorance of yourself. And even that, like, it's not a very fun term to apply to anyone, to call yourself ignorant, but you are ignorant, and we all are, to things, and we, especially to like ourselves, and why we do certain things, and why we're motivated by certain other things, and why we're motivated by not certain things. And being able to be honest in that space, and be truthful about those things are often not comfortable, and there's a level of vulnerability that goes with it too. The book highlights and points out how kids do this, and they do it with ease because they don't know much about the world. They're ignorant about everything. So their curiosity is such a gift for them. It's such a benefit that they take things on as they come, and they don't have a bias about themselves. They don't have a bias about the world, depending on the age, obviously. And as things come in, they decipher and pick it apart and pull and tug at it as it comes in, and they don't coffin themselves into an idea of themselves and not allow new things to come in. And you watch, and you hang around kids. I do, because I have a toddler, and like, you're around them all the time and on the playgrounds and things. Really, you see a lot of this magic start to happen, where they start off, when they get there, their favorite color is red, and by the time they leave the park, their favorite color is triangle, and they're just as happy about triangle as they were about red. They've allowed themselves to be open to the curiosity of the world and things that come in, and they don't put themselves in a category of like, well, I'm this. You realize the power of that and the benefit of that. You also see the vulnerability and the gullibility of that too, and how that can be dangerous. But you, as an adult, if you can get an ounce of that, if you can get a scoop of that curiosity about yourself and the things you take in, and how you view it, and how you can start to piece about, and also how you question yourself and the blind spots that you have, that you know they're there, but you just haven't looked at yet. Like, what a benefit that would be for you, just to make the attempt, to make the attempt to dig at something, to try to figure these things out. Because as it pertains to what we do here, and just health, fitness in general, especially just in the gym setting, and all the setting, and how it applies to everything in your existence in your life, people take things on when they come in, and they want to do these physical feats, and but attached to that is their mental and emotional feats that go with it, everything tied in together. And they'll take on a goal, and then when you just ask them just simple questions like, well, why do you want to do this? Why is this important? There's always a pause when you start kind of digging and start asking a little more, because you want to find out where the motivation is. You want to find out what's going to cause it to stop, or what's going to hinder it, what's going to hinder its progress or slow it down, or what's going to be the hurdles. We got to ask these questions before you go forward. And you should ask these questions before you attempt these things, and especially before you spend money on them. You're going to have to figure these things out. And a lot of people have not been curious enough to why you want these things. Because people will come in like, well, I want to be lean, or I want to be muscular. And you're like, well, why is that important to you? Did you see it on Instagram and it seems like it's popular, or it seems like it's engaging, or it seems like it's what a lot of people like? But is it what you really like? Do you really want that? Do you want to be a part of like this group? And the same thing goes for people who are professional fighters, who are professional athletes. Like, why do you want this career? Like, this career comes with a lot of adversity, a significant amount of it, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. It comes with a large amount of adversity. So why do you want to do this? Why is it important to you? Is it a challenge? Do you want to be called a fighter? Do you want to be famous? Do you want to be known? Do you need money? All these things you need to be curious about yourself, of why you would take this specific sport on and go through the trials of it. And the thing that chews people up and spits them out, who make this attempt, and I mean, countless people make the attempt at it, it's admirable to say the least. It's an incredible thing if you can take that on as a professional sport. But if you haven't been curious about why you want to do it, when you hit these hurdles, when you hit these brick walls, when you hit these things and you don't know how to navigate around them or through them or over them because you weren't curious why you took it on in the first place, you may stop before you get started. You may stop before you even reach your real potential just because you weren't curious enough about yourself. And the same thing goes with health and fitness. You're going to take this thing on. What's it going to cost you in money? What's it going to cost you in your family and your friends? Because oftentimes people aren't on the same page with your health and wellness. So you're trying to attempt this thing, and the other people around you aren't doing it. And now you don't get invited to things, or dinner time is separate from you. And it's happened plenty of times. They don't eat the same thing as you, and they don't want to hear you about why you can't do this and why you got to change. So when you do these things, like, why are you taking it on? When you look at like the body type you want, the lifestyle you want, because it's something you're going to have to do continuously. It's something you're going to have to do consistently over and over again. So you got to ask yourself what these things are. And if you're curious about yourself, you will have a better chance at arriving why you are doing these things. It's nothing comfortable. It's painful at times because you'll see things, and maybe you'll see things that you didn't think that you were, that you knew that you knew was your thinking. And as you do a little bit more digging, you find out like it's not that, or it's not fully that. There's an element of it that needs to change or be different, or there may be an element that could make whatever you thought you were, that you know you are, to be a little bit better. And even that's a painful process as well, but it's a beneficial one. Throughout the book, they make this comparison in thinking where they talk about people thinking of things in the view of a puzzles versus mysteries. With puzzles, you know there's pieces. You know the defined piece. You know what they look like. You know the shape. You know what they're made out of. You know what color they are. You know that. But in knowing that, there's confidence in that, but there's also the blind spot. There's the ignorance that you don't allow yourself to see, versus mystery, where you don't know what the puzzles are. There may be no puzzle pieces. There may not be no puzzle at all. It may be something entirely different. And you're not resistant against it, not entirely resisting it. You take on the information as it comes on, like a child who's curious about the world. As it comes in, you're not biased against it. You're not rigid. You don't fight against it. You at least give yourself the time to even just to look at it, take a peek at it. When we think like puzzles, we don't even allow things that could be beneficial or be a better understanding of why we're doing what we're doing to even give us a glimpse into why we've decided to be this way. And you can get stuck in that. And that can be a detriment to the things you're trying to do and the things you're trying to progress in. And the whole premise, I mean, the whole view, the whole approach to the whole thing, if you can think about it, it's just the attempt to look at it things differently. Just be a little bit more curious about the things you do, why you are the way you are, why you want the things you want. And if you can ask yourself those things, if you can be comfortable in your ignorance, because often that term is so negative, but if you can be comfortable in your ignorance about yourself and bring it on and be open to it and view things as they come in and do some digging, do some real digging, take some time, give yourself some time and space to dig at these things. You can allow yourself to do those things. You might be able to make the attempt at making things a lot better for yourself and make things happier for you and the people around you. And the things that you're doing might start to make a lot more sense.